My name's Tyler Sagal, and I'm going to spend the next 10 minutes with you talking about my final expense in-home. So first off, final expense leads, we're talking to people that are ages 50 to about 85 that are just wanting to make sure that when they pass that their final expenses, so their burial, cremation, really their final wishes are taken care of, and that it's not going to fall on somebody that they love, whether it be child, sibling, just someone that if they didn't have this insurance would not have to come out of pocket or do a GoFundMe to cover their final expenses. So really what I do with these is we have a lot of different vendors that can get this type of lead in front of you. But really, I'll break it down. So when I go into these appointments, they're very straightforward. I like to keep it simple. This market, they need simplicity, but they need facts. They're very, it should be a quick appointment. I'm very straightforward on them. So, I mean, the second I walk in the house, obviously, hey Mary, do you want me to take my shoes off? 99% of the time they're going to say no, but you will get the 1% that will say yes. Always do it, because it's a sign of respect, but it's also their home, so respect that. And I'm guiding them to a table every time. You're in charge when you're in their house. You're taking charge, and you go to the table. Business is done at the table. So when I get in front of them, what I'm saying is, okay, Mary, so there's one of three reasons why I'm here. Either you have no insurance at all, and you're looking to get some. You have some, but you need a little bit more, or you're just wanting to leave a legacy behind for a family member. And she'll always pick one. Once I find that need, then I explain why I'm here. So what I'll do is I'll slide my license, I'll put my license in front of her so that she can look at it and make sure, I'm credible. I said, take a picture of it, Mary. If that's what you want to do, take a picture of it so you know I'm real, I can help you. And then I'll slide my credibility worksheet with all of our carriers on there. And I'll say, Mary, so what I do is I'm an independent broker. I work with 10 to 15 different A-rated life insurance companies that can offer this kind of coverage. All this means is I'm not here for an insurance company, I'm here to help you. And whatever one of these companies makes the most sense for your situation and what you can qualify for, that's where we're gonna go. And obviously, Mary, I can't approve you. The insurance company's gotta do that. So my goal here is I'm gonna spend about 2 minutes on financial questions, 2 minutes on medical, and then, if anything else comes up, I gotta figure out kind of your entire situation here before I recommend something for you. Does that make sense? Yes. Okay, so I'm running through, you have to figure out the why and who's gonna be the one picking up the pieces. So, hey Mary, if you died yesterday, who's gonna be the one picking up the pieces today? Who's gonna be having to come out of pocket? Do you have current insurance right now? If so, what do you have? And really all I'm doing there is I'm just trying to figure out why she's wanting to purchase insurance. Because if you don't have the why, if you don't build value to what's happening or what it's going to do when she passes, when she sees $80 a month come out of her checking account and she doesn't know what that's going towards, there's no value to that premium. So you have to build value to what it's going to do. That way every time they see that thing come out, they're like, yep, that's for my daughter. When I pass away, it's going to be there. So really, what it comes down to is qualifying them and figuring out health questions. So the why is the number one thing. If you don't have a why, there's no point in even being there. Figure out the why, dig deep on it, paint a picture for them, but also be authentic to yourself and understand why you're actually there, and understand what you're selling. Understand the power of that insurance license that you hold, because be authentic, but also when you're going through that credibility worksheet, or not the credibility worksheet, but the financial inventory, you have to figure out all the moving parts with their budget, where it's coming from. These people are typically they're getting Social Security income, and maybe they have a pension, or maybe they're working part-time and they have a fixed income. These people need fixed rates. So they may have been, in the past, they may be jaded about insurance because the premiums increased, the insurance, it was a term and it expired on them. These people need whole life permanent insurance that's going to be there when they die, not if they die, AKA term. So what I'm doing is I'm asking them questions about, when I'm qualifying them, I'm asking questions about their personal or their medical history. Heart attack, stroke, cancer, diabetes. If diabetes, when with the diagnosis, what do you take? You take anything for neuropathy, Lyrica, gabapentin, any of those medications. And for new agents out there watching this, the big thing that you need to do is you need to figure out the health, but you also need to figure out medications and when things happened in terms of a stroke or heart attack or a stent that was put in. You got to dig deep on that, because with all of our carriers, all these, really, we have about, I would say, 8 carriers that are very good at simplified issued final expense that can serve the senior market, but understand where each individual client falls, and it's all on the grid sheets that we have accessible to all agents. But just know where to find that information. But really, all we're doing, like I said, all we're doing is qualifying them. We're trying to figure out what company is really going to approve them. Because if a client has current cancer, the only carrier that we can do is AIG. And it'll be a 2-year waiting period, but after 2 years, full benefit will kick in. But we're trying to get people insurance day one. Day one coverage is what we're going for. But like I said, as we're qualifying them, you need to understand how to write different products for different clients, because not every client is going to be right. We're going with America for these guys, but with Bob and Mary, we might be looking at Prosperity. Understand that, but also these rates, and I explain this to these clients, is that these rates are fixed. They're never going to go up on you, and this coverage is never going to end. It's going to be there when you die. That way, your family's going to get the money when you pass, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it being there. As long as you pay the premium, this thing's in force. But these clients are just, I love the final expense market because I believe that they're truly underserved. The final expense market doesn't have financial advisors. They don't have people watching their money. They really don't have much money, in a sense, in terms of disposable income and retirement stuff. So these guys, they really need the insurance, because if they don't have it, it's going to leave a burden on their family, because there's not much money to be handed down. But when you're expecting someone that's on a fixed income to come up with $10,000-$15,000 to bury their mom, I mean, it can ruin, and not ruin, but it can definitely burden a family if it's not properly insured. So I guess a few tips would be just be very direct with these people. Be authentic to yourself too, because they're buying you. They're buying insurance from you, but they're buying you. They're trusting you. They're very trustworthy clients, and they're allowing a stranger to come into their house. So be respectful of them. Be authentic. Be genuine. Shoot them straight. Don't be afraid to, hey, I want to think about it. Okay, Mary, honestly, that's fine. You should think about it, but like, what is there to think about here? You just said that if something happened to you yesterday, there'd be nothing for your son here, and your son would have to come out of pocket and do all these things. So what are we talking about here? We don't even know if you're going to get approved. So challenge. Don't push, but challenge, because you care about them. I mean, you're being genuine to them. Be very straightforward with them, very direct, be authentic, be genuine, but understand your product, understand what you're selling, understand how powerful that license that you hold is, because we're talking about you getting them to make a purchasing decision, and if they don't sign on the dotted line before you leave and they die the next day, the insurance company will not pay money onto the family. If they do those things and they qualify, if everything goes through, your license can literally dictate a family getting $20,000 or zero, just by you building value to the point where they're ready to purchase insurance. Be professional with these people. They've seen a lot. I mean, they're really 60 to 80 years old is the final expense market. They've seen a lot more than I have. I'm 24 years old, but I'm very respectful of older folks, just because, and honestly, I love the final expense market just because of what these people have been through, what they've seen. It's a really cool market to get into. So really, I know I'm kind of getting all over the place here, but with these, it's a very direct appointment. From the second you walk into their house to getting to talking about insurance and what they need, and then it's just a matter of asking questions about what it's going to look like, painting the picture, and then saying, hey, I'm not here for an insurance company. I'm seriously here to help you guys. And if you can get that out there and they can understand that, now we're not selling. Now we're just placing them with a good carrier if they trust you. If they're on your side, if they believe that you're truly there to help them, which you should be. Again, be authentic to yourself, but you're there for them. You're not there for you. We do this for other people, not for ourselves. Yes, we get paid in the process, but when you're in the financial service business, if you're going to do it right, you need to be in it for the right reasons. You need to be there for the clients, and that's what I take into every appointment, and that's why. The final expense market, like I said, is a very underserved market, and it's a great market to be in because the way those policies work in terms of the way we get paid for new agents is every single we get the advance, we get the first year commission, but after that, every time the client pays every month, we get a renewal between, I think it's 2 to 9% every month, depending on the carrier. So as long as the client is paying on this policy, you're getting paid on it, and the client's covered. And when the client passes away, their family's going to have money. And I'm telling you, when you get your first death claim, it changes your business. It changes the way you look at the business, the way you handle your business. Because when you get a spouse calling you after she just lost her husband, and you sat with them and you talked to them, and she calls and she's crying that she just lost her husband, and now they're waiting for you to make the move to the insurance company, like you said you were going to do, and you show up at their house with a check for $15,000. It's different when that happens. It changes the way you do business and operate business just because of how real life insurance is. Yes, it's cool. Yes, you can make good money doing this, but you have to be in it for the right reasons. So I guess, no, I don't guess, I know. Just be authentic to yourself. Work hard, learn about the industry, learn about the market that we're serving. Put the clients first, not about you. Put the clients first, and everything else will fall in place. But just do it for the right reasons. Especially the middle American market that doesn't have advisors. They don't have liquid money sitting there in 401ks, IRAs. They're living on a very fixed income, and really, if they don't have this type of coverage, it can really affect their loved ones when they don't have $15,000 sitting there to help bury them. So really, at the end of the day, you just have to be authentic with this market. You have to be real. These people have seen a lot more than you have typically, depending on age, but just be very respectful of them, shoot them straight, be very direct, and just let them know that you're there for them and not for you. Because if you let that barrier, if you get that barrier out of the way, it's a great market to be in, and I genuinely love Final Expense is my favorite appointments to run, because you see all sorts of different things, a lot of interesting backgrounds. But again, these people need it, and when you get your first death claim, like I said before, you'll know why you do it. In Final Expense, you typically will get more death claims just because you're dealing with an older market, and it's a wonderful market to be in. These people need it, and it's one of my favorites to be in. I love it. So if you guys got questions on any sort of Final Expense, in-home, stuff like that, you can reach me 920-639-4812. Again, my name's Tyler Sagal. I'll be happy to answer any questions, but let's keep serving.